A message only the truly chosen will understand. Listen to me carefully, child of God. This is not an ordinary moment, and these are not ordinary words. What you are about to hear is not entertainment, not emotional comfort, and not something you stumbled into by curiosity. This message was scheduled for you before the day even began. Heaven aligned your steps, guided your attention, and placed this word in front of you because your spirit is ready to hear what most people will never understand. This is not for everyone. If you play with darkness, ignore conviction, laugh at spiritual things, or treat God as a weekend ritual, this message is not yours. You will not understand it, and it will not reach you. But if your heart has been heavy this season, if you've been sensing something shifting inside you, if you've felt a pull you cannot explain, a quiet stirring that refuses to leave, then you are meant to be here. Because heaven does not waste revelation. Only those who carry the mark of the chosen feel this kind of spiritual gravity. Only those who have been set apart since childhood recognize the difference between a human message and a divine summons. And if you are still reading, if something in your chest feels alert, awakened, or strangely emotional, that is your first confirmation. Heaven allowed you to arrive here at the exact second you were meant to. There is something you need to hear. Something that will confront you, strengthen you, and realign the way you see your entire journey. Something that speaks directly into the hidden layers of your spirit, the parts of you you've never been able to explain, not even to yourself. Before we go deeper, seal your agreement in the spirit. If you feel this word pulling at you, comment 777 right now as a sign that your heart recognizes this message as its own. Chosen one, take a breath. Still your mind. You are about to step into revelation. Stay with me until the end. This is where your understanding begins. Who you are in the spirit, even before you knew it. Chosen one, before we go any further, you must understand something essential. The strongest chosen ones do not look like what people expect. They are not the loudest in the room, not the most outwardly confident, not the ones who display their spirituality for attention. In fact, the strongest chosen often look like the quiet ones, the observers, the deeply feeling souls who walk through life sensing more than they can explain. The world mistakes their quietness for weakness, but heaven calls it sensitivity. The world calls them too emotional, but heaven calls it discernment. The world sees someone who doesn't fit in. Heaven sees someone who was never meant to. From childhood, the strongest chosen ones carry an inner difference, an awareness they cannot fully articulate. While other children blend effortlessly into their surroundings, the chosen one feels like a visitor, watching life from the outside. They sense tension before conflict begins. They feel danger before it shows itself. They notice lies even when spoken with a smile. This is not paranoia. This is spiritual sight. The strongest chosen one is spiritually awake long before they have words to describe what they feel. They are born with radar, an invisible sensitivity that alerts them to the atmosphere around them. They can walk into a room and immediately detect heaviness, dishonesty, jealousy, or spiritual darkness. Even when everything looks normal on the surface, they see beyond faces, they see motives, they hear beyond words, they hear intentions. And because of that, they often grow up misunderstood. People accuse them of overreacting, of imagining things, of being dramatic. But the chosen one is not dramatic, they are accurate. Their spirit reads what the natural world tries to hide. This innate sensitivity is one of the first signs of spiritual rank, but it comes with a price. The strongest chosen ones often carry emotional wounds early in life, not because they are weak, but because they are being trained. They feel deeply, love deeply, trust deeply, and are often wounded deeply. Their hearts break faster than others, not because they are fragile, but because their calling demands a compassionate spirit. Heaven cannot use a hardened vessel. And so the chosen one is allowed to walk through seasons of pain so their heart remains soft. Their sensitivity becomes compassion. Their wounds become wisdom. Their tears become intercession. Rejection is another mark of the strongest chosen. They are rarely fully accepted by family, often misunderstood by siblings, misinterpreted by parents. Even in friendships, they are the different one, the one who doesn't fully fit the rhythm of the group. But rejection was never punishment, it was protection. God removed them from environments that would have shaped them incorrectly. He did not allow them to be molded by voices that did not match their calling. This is why chosen ones often walk alone. Not because they are unlovable, but because heaven guards them from attachments that would deform their identity. Even relationships that seemed promising suddenly fall apart. Friendships fade mysteriously. People distance themselves without reason. You think it is your fault, but it is not. It is spiritual filtering. God isolates the strongest, chosen to grow them without interference. Another sign is warfare early, unusual, and relentless. The strongest chosen ones face battles long before they understand spiritual reality. Nightmares, anxiety, childhood oppression, random fear, sudden sadness, invisible pressure. Patterns of attack that make no logical sense. The enemy identifies chosen vessels early and attempts to break them before they discover who they are. But the fact that you survived is proof of rank. If you were weak, the battles would have destroyed you. If you were ordinary, the attacks wouldn't have been necessary. If you were insignificant, the enemy wouldn't have invested so much energy into stopping you. What you endured is evidence of who you are. And here is the truth heaven has been whispering over your life. The strongest chosen ones are those who survive storms designed to kill them. They rise again and again, even when no one sees the strength it costs. They carry a quiet endurance that confuses darkness and impresses heaven. Your identity is not in what people said. Your identity is not in what happened to you. Your identity is not in what you lost. Your identity is this. You are a vessel God has refined, a spirit trained in silence, a soul heaven can trust with deep things. You are one of the strongest chosen ones, and nothing in your life has been accidental. This is who you have always been. How God secretly measures the strongest chosen ones. Chosen one. Now that you understand who you are, you must understand how heaven evaluates you. Because the truth is this, God does not measure strength the way humans do. What the world celebrates is not what heaven crowns. What people consider impressive is often irrelevant in the spirit. Heaven's scale is hidden, only revealed to those who walk closely with God, those whose hearts have been purified through fire, those who carry mantles heavier than their age, background, or appearance would ever suggest. And if you are here reading this, that means heaven has already been weighing you. The first measure heaven uses is your inner battles, not your outward behavior. People see how you look. God sees how you stand when no one is watching. People measure confidence by personality. God measures courage by the moments you fought through fear in silence. The strongest chosen ones are not those who never fall. They are those who fall 7 times and rise 8 without applause, without recognition, without anyone knowing the warfare raging inside them. Heaven calls that strength. Another measure heaven uses is your sensitivity to conviction. When you speak too quickly and feel sorrow afterward, when you walk towards sin and immediately feel the Spirit pulling you back, when you try to live like everyone else but your spirit refuses to settle, that is not weakness. That is a sign of spiritual rank. The strongest chosen ones cannot sin comfortably. Their conscience is louder. Their spirit is more alert. Their margin for error is smaller because the cost of their assignment is higher. Heaven corrects them quickly, not because God is harsh, but because their purpose is too valuable to risk corrosion. The next measure heaven looks at is the purity of your heart after pain. Many people go through betrayal and become cold. Many experience injustice and become bitter. But the strongest chosen ones, after all the storms, heartbreaks, and disappointments, still carry compassion. They still love deeply. They still see good in others. They still forgive, even when forgiveness hurts. That softness is not a flaw. It is evidence that your heart survived the fire without becoming ash. Heaven treasures that. Heaven trusts that. The strongest chosen ones also carry what heaven calls spiritual sight, a level of discernment that cannot be taught. You sense danger before it manifests. You detect deception before truth is revealed. You feel heaviness in an atmosphere others call normal. You know when someone's spirit does not match their smile. This ability is not imagination. It is not anxiety. It is a divine gift, proof that you are entrusted with spiritual authority. Another weight on heaven's scale is how you carry loneliness. Not the loneliness caused by isolation, but the loneliness caused by being different, set apart by God. When friends drift, when family misunderstands you, when people grow distant for reasons you cannot explain, heaven watches how you respond. If you seek God instead of bitterness, if you lean into prayer instead of self-pity, if you choose growth instead of resentment, heaven calls that strength. And finally, heaven weighs your ability to stand in hidden seasons, when no one sees your effort, your sacrifice, your obedience. The strongest chosen ones obey God, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it costs them relationships, comfort, and opportunities. Their loyalty is not for show, it is spiritual integrity. Chosen one, heaven has not measured you by your mistakes, but by your endurance. Not by your silence, but by your resilience. Not by your appearance, but by your spirit. And heaven has found you strong. Ancient words, present time, personal fulfillment. Chosen one, now listen closely, because what I am about to reveal will shift the way you see every moment of your life. The feelings you've carried, the patterns you've lived through, the strange timing of events, none of it was random. None of it was coincidence. Your life has been shaped by prophecy from the beginning, long before you knew God, long before you understood spiritual warfare, long before you could interpret dreams, signs, or spiritual emotions. Heaven already whispered a word over your life, a word that marked you, a word that protected you, a word that disturbed darkness before you even learned how to speak. And that word has been following you your entire life. This is why you have always felt different. This is why certain friendships never settled in your spirit. This is why environments that others loved felt suffocating to you. This is why you sensed danger where others sensed opportunity. The prophecy over your life refused to let you plant your roots in places that would damage your calling. Prophecy does not sit quietly. It shapes, it shifts, it redirects. When God releases a word over someone, everything in that person's life begins to bend, break, rearrange, and stretch to fit that word, often long before the person knows what is happening. And that is exactly what happened to you. Think about it. Have you ever felt like you were being prepared for something you couldn't describe? Have you ever felt an invisible countdown inside your spirit? Have you ever experienced sudden shifts, doors closing abruptly, relationships ending dramatically, entire seasons collapsing without warning? Chosen one, that was not instability. That was prophecy protecting you from destinations you were never meant to reach. The word over your life is bigger than your comfort. It is connected to people, territories, bloodlines, timelines, and assignments. Some of the battles you fought did not even start with you. They were battles your ancestors lost, wounds your bloodline carried, patterns no one before you had the strength to confront. But when the prophecy over your life activated, your spirit knew. It ends with me. This is why your life has carried such intensity. This is why your warfare has been generational, not situational. This is why you've been attacked in childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. Prophecy attracts resistance. When heaven releases a word, hell releases an attack. When heaven marks a destiny, darkness marks it as a target. You have lived under spiritual attention your entire life, not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous. And here is the part you must understand. Prophecy repeats itself until you finally respond. This is why certain messages grip your heart more than others. Why specific scriptures follow you from season to season. Why numbers like 777 appear repeatedly. Why dreams and visions come in patterns. Why strangers tell you the same thing friends have said. Why you feel a burning inside when you hear certain words. Prophecy is trying to gain your agreement, because prophecy without agreement becomes delay, but prophecy with agreement becomes activation. Your spirit already knows this. That is why your heart responds even when your mind struggles to understand. You are not overthinking. You are remembering what heaven already declared. Chosen one, you are living inside a prophecy right now. Every shift you felt, every spiritual awakening, every season of isolation, every moment of divine protection, every repeated sign, they are pieces of a script written long before you arrived on earth. And now the word over your life is moving from promise to fulfillment, from one day to now, from prophetic potential to prophetic manifestation. This is why your spirit feels urgency. This is why your dreams have intensified. This is why old habits suddenly feel heavy. This is why you sense God calling you higher. The prophecy is real. It has found you, and it will not stop until you walk into everything heaven has decreed. Chosen one, you are not imagining the shift. You are stepping into alignment. The fire you survived, and what it reveals about you. Chosen one, you have asked yourself many times, why is my life like this? Why do I face so much more than others? And maybe you assumed it was because you were cursed, unlucky, or overlooked by God. But hear me clearly. Your battles were harder because your calling is heavier. Your warfare was deeper because your assignment is greater. The strongest chosen ones are trained in fire, not comfort. They are shaped in storms, not sunshine. They are refined in seasons that feel unfair, isolating, and overwhelming. And if your life has been filled with unusual battles, it is because heaven knows what you carry, and hell fears it. Let's go back further than you think. Many of your battles did not start with you. You were born into a bloodline with ancient wounds, patterns of broken marriages, addictions, sudden deaths, poverty, mental torment, spiritual confusion, jealousy, and cycles that repeat from generation to generation. These cycles survived because no one before you had the strength, discernment, or spiritual authority to confront them. So heaven chose you, and darkness identified you. This is why your childhood may have felt heavier than others, why you sensed darkness before you understood what it was, why you had nightmares, fears, or an unusual awareness of the unseen world, why you felt unsafe around certain people without knowing why. Early battles are the signature of a chosen warrior. The enemy attacks early when he fears who you will become. As you grew, your relationships carried unusual pain. People you loved deeply betrayed you unexpectedly. Friends you trusted walked away without explanation. Family members wounded you in ways you struggled to speak about. You poured love into the wrong vessels and received heartbreak in return. This was not random, this was refining. You needed to learn discernment. You needed to learn boundaries. You needed to learn that not every smiling face carries a safe spirit. Each betrayal was training. Each heartbreak sharpened your sight. Each disappointment purified your motives. You did not lose people, God revealed them. Your battles were harder because your spirit sees what others ignore. You feel lies beneath polite words. You sense danger in environments that everyone else calls harmless. You detect spiritual motives that others are blind to. But this sensitivity came at a cost. It made you the one who noticed everything, carried everything, felt everything. It made you the one who suffered in silence while others lived carelessly. The strongest chosen ones often endure emotional storms that make no logical sense, waves of sadness, sudden heaviness, internal pressure, spiritual fatigue, not because they are weak, but because they carry assignments that stretch their spirit. You were not battling random moods, you were battling atmospheres. There were also financial battles, unexpected expenses, stolen opportunities, blocked doors, constant setbacks. Every time you tried to rise, something collapsed. Every time you tried to save, something broke. Every time you tried to step forward, life pulled you back. Not because you were cursed, but because your future influence threatened darkness. Your finances were under attack because your destiny includes provision, generosity, building, leading, and lifting others. The enemy does not target what does not matter. Even your health may have been touched: a tired body, sudden sickness, unexplained fatigue. These attacks came at moments when you were closest to breakthrough. Darkness tried to weaken the vessel so the message would never be born. But you survived. You rose again. Your strength returned when you least expected it. This is supernatural evidence of divine protection. But perhaps the hardest battle of all was internal, the battle with yourself. The questions, the confusion, the fear, the feeling of being unseen, unheard, forgotten, the nights where you prayed and heaven felt silent, the days where you wondered if you would ever be free. But chosen one, hear this. The fire did not come to destroy you, it came to reveal you. It revealed your endurance. It revealed your resilience. It revealed your spirit's refusal to die. It revealed that even at your lowest, you are still dangerous to darkness. It revealed that your calling is not ordinary, it is ancestral, generational, prophetic. Your battles were harder because heaven chose you to end what others could not, to break what others bowed to heal what others ignored, to stand where others fell. You are not weak because you struggled. You are strong because you survived. And nothing you went through was wasted. What the strongest chosen ones are really sent to do. Chosen one, you did not survive everything you have lived through just to blend into an ordinary life. The battles you faced, the isolation you endured, the spiritual sensitivity you carry, these were not random traits or painful coincidences. They were signs of a mantle, a spiritual assignment placed on your life by heaven long before you understood it. A mantle is not a title. A mantle is not charisma. A mantle is not a platform. A mantle is a divine responsibility, the weight of a mission God trusts you to fulfill on earth. Many wish for gifts, attention, and power, but very few are trusted with a mantle. Mantles are costly. Mantles require pruning. Mantles require purity, endurance, and surrender. And the strongest chosen ones carry mantles that press on their spirit, even when they tried to run from it. The first sign of your mantle is the burden that never leaves you. Ask yourself, what pain in others moves you deeply? What injustice disturbs your spirit? What destruction in families, communities, or souls makes you restless? Your mission is often wrapped inside that ache. The thing that breaks your heart is usually the thing God anointed you to heal. Some chosen ones carry the mantle of restoration. If you come from a family line full of trauma, generational curses, broken marriages, addictions, poverty, or silence around pain, you may be the one called to end the cycle. You were placed in that bloodline as a pattern breaker. Your mission is to say, "It ends with me." Others carry the mantle of intercession. Heaven wakes you up at strange hours. Your spirit feels pressure long before events unfold. You feel the weight of people, nations, or situations you've never seen. You are a spiritual gatekeeper, someone whose prayers shift outcomes. You will never be fully understood, but you will always be essential. Some carry the mantle of teaching or revelation. Your words carry weight. People listen when you speak. Even simple truths hit differently when they come from you. You can explain spiritual realities in ways that others grasp quickly. You bring clarity where confusion has lived for years. Others carry the mantle of healing. You calm storms without trying. Strangers open up to you easily. People leave your presence lighter than they arrived. You carry emotional and spiritual medicine inside you. Your mission is not to fix people, but to walk with them into healing. Some chosen ones carry the mantle of influence in systems, business, media, government, education, technology. You may not look religious, but your integrity, discernment, and quiet authority expose darkness and protect what is pure. You are a reformer, a standard raiser, a light placed inside dark structures. And then there are those who carry multiple mantles, layered and heavy. These souls are trained in deeper fire because they will touch more lives than they realize. Regardless of your specific mantle, all strongest chosen ones share one truth. You were not sent to live small. You were sent to disrupt darkness, restore what has been broken, and walk in a mission larger than your personal story. Your mantle will demand discipline. Your mantle will require obedience. Your mantle will reshape your life decisions. But chosen one, your mantle is also your honor. It is why heaven guarded you. It is why darkness feared you. It is why your life was different from the beginning. Your mission is bigger than you think, and heaven is waiting for your yes. On how the strongest chosen ones must walk from this point forward. Chosen one, now that you understand your identity and mantle, you must hear this clearly. You cannot walk like everyone else anymore. Your rank in the Spirit is too high, your calling too valuable, and your influence too dangerous for you to live casually. From this moment forward, your steps must be intentional. The first instruction is this: guard your atmosphere. What others can watch, listen to, entertain, or joke about without consequence will affect you deeply. Your spirit absorbs things faster. Corruption sticks to you quicker. Darkness tries to enter through the smallest open doors. Be watchful of what you consume: music, conversations, social media, environments. When you feel your peace draining or your clarity fading, treat it like a spiritual emergency. Pull back, reset, return to God's presence until the fog lifts. Second, be selective with your connections. Not every friendly face carries a safe spirit. Some people come to distract, drain, or disconnect you from your destiny. Your discernment will tell you when a connection feels off. Don't ignore that warning. The strongest chosen ones cannot stay bound to relationships that normalize sin, mock holiness, or revive old versions of them. Love people, but do not tie yourself to anyone who lowers your spiritual temperature. Third, beware of distraction. The enemy knows he cannot always make you fall, so he tries to make you busy, entertained, numb, scrolling endlessly, comparing yourself, chasing applause, slowly losing your hunger for God. Distraction destroys purpose just as effectively as sin. Treat your time as a weapon. Protect it. Fourth, guard your words. Your mouth carries authority. The enemy wants you to curse yourself through frustration, saying, "I'm tired, I'm unlucky, nothing works for me." Cancel that. Speak life over your future. Decree what God says, not what fear says. Your words shape your path. Fifth, forgive quickly. Bitterness hardens your spirit and dulls your discernment. Forgiveness is not agreement, it is freedom. Release them so your heart stays clean. Sixth, do not compromise. Your calling does not allow double living. Every small compromise becomes a chain. When God convicts you, obey quickly. Quick obedience keeps your discernment sharp. Finally, care for your vessel. Your body is part of your assignment. Rest. Nourish yourself. Do not glorify burnout. A depleted vessel cannot carry divine responsibility. Chosen one, these instructions are not suggestions, they are survival codes for your destiny. Walk carefully, but walk with confidence. Heaven is with you. How the strongest chosen ones must move from here. Chosen one, now that you understand your identity and the weight of your mantle, you must shift from survival to strategy. The next level of your calling cannot be entered accidentally. Heaven is not asking you to drift into destiny, it is asking you to partner with it. Your first strategy is this. Make decisions like someone who carries prophecy. Every choice you make, your environment, your friendships, your habits, your discipline, either aligns you with your future or pulls you back into an old version of yourself. When you feel hesitation in your spirit, honor it. When you feel peace, follow it. When you feel an inner stop, obey immediately. Your sensitivity is your compass. Second, prepare in private for assignments not yet visible. Don't wait for opportunity before you prepare. Prepare so you are ready when opportunity appears. If you are called to speak, study now. If you are called to build, plan now. If you are called to intercede, strengthen your prayer life now. Preparation is proof of expectation. Heaven promotes those who prepare. Third, practice rapid obedience. The strongest chosen ones move when God nudges them. Not next week, not when it's convenient, not after overthinking it. Delayed obedience is often quiet disobedience. When heaven says now, move, your obedience activates doors that effort alone could never open. Fourth, make every decision through your future self, not your wounded self. Ask yourself consistently, is this choice feeding who I used to be, or who God is shaping me to become? The old you was insecure, attached, reactive, easily shaken. The new you is stable, discerning, focused, aligned. You cannot carry yesterday's mindset into tomorrow's assignment. Fifth, treat your daily routine as holy ground. Your morning is spiritual. Your habits shape your atmosphere. Your focus determines your clarity. Begin your day with prayer before the world has a chance to speak. Declare who you are before fear whispers. Read truth before lies attempt to dictate your mood. Lastly, move with courage when heaven says it's time. You may not feel ready, but readiness is not the requirement. Agreement is. Heaven doesn't use the fearless, it uses the willing. You step, and God strengthens you as you walk. Chosen one, your next level requires alignment, responsibility, and courage. You are not transitioning, you are ascending. A prophetic release over the strongest chosen ones. Chosen one, if you are still here, it is because your spirit recognizes this word as yours. Everything you have survived, every tear you've cried, every battle you fought in silence, it was never meaningless. It was preparation, it was shaping, it was heaven refining you for a calling far greater than your pain. Right now, I speak a blessing over you. May your mind be cleared from confusion. May your heart be healed from old wounds. May every chain that has tried to restrain your calling break now. May your spirit rise with fresh strength, fresh clarity, and fresh courage. I declare that you will not shrink back. You will not return to old versions of yourself. You will not hand your destiny to fear, doubt, or discouragement. From this moment forward, walk like someone heaven has chosen. Speak like someone carrying prophecy. Move like someone assigned to this generation. You are not who you used to be. You are who God has been shaping in the dark. And now the light is calling you forward. Chosen one, your journey does not end here. This is the awakening of who you were always meant to be. Chosen one, if this message spoke to your spirit, type 777 inches the comments as your agreement with heaven. Like and share this word so it reaches another soul who needs confirmation. Don't keep your breakthrough to yourself, release it forward.